Welcome to 30 and Nerdy. My name is David, and I am all alone. Which means I can set off all the alarms I want to. It's happening, folks. The end of the world is nigh. Or Christmas, whichever one comes first. I am here by myself, just doing a small, short 30 and Nerdy cast, giving AJ and Brady the weekend off. And I just figured I would dub this one, since I am a huge 40k nerd, Warhammer 40 Christmas, spelled with a K. So I just was going to go through a few things that you might be able to get your significant other this Christmas. Not all will be 40k related, most of them will be. But I'm going to get us started off with some gift ideas in the Warhammer 40k realm. Now, they just came out with the Supremacy Forces, and they are a pretty penny. They are not cheap. Of course, nothing from Games Workshop is. But these are bigger than the starter force boxes, which are $85. And these ones are about $170. And they do come with quite a lot, depending on which one you pick. There are several to choose from, several Space Marine chapters, and then several Xenos chapters to choose from, or Xenos races to choose from. Excuse me, chapters are more for Space Marines. But let's see here, the Imperial Fists Supremacy Force comes with one Primaris Captain who can be armed with either a Mastercrafted Bolt Rifle or Mastercrafted Stalker Bolt Rifle. 10 Primaris Intercessors, 10 Primaris Hellblasters, each of which can be armed with a Plasma Incinerator, Assault Plasma Incinerator, or Heavy Plasma Incinerator. 3 Primaris Aggressors, 1 Redemptor Dreadnought, and that is a sweet, sweet model. And also are the Aggressor, Primaris Aggressors. And then 3 Imperial Fist Primaris upgrade frames, each containing 5 Intercessor shoulder pads, 1 Intercessor Sergeant shoulder pad, 3 Aggressor shoulder pads, and a bunch of other random things. So, you get a decent chunk of stuff. Like the Hellblasters alone, a 10-man squad is $55, $60, something like that, standalone. Probably same for each and every single squad, besides the chaplain or the Primaris Captain. He probably is around $20, but most everything in here is roughly about $50 for each different kind of squad, like the 3-man Primaris Aggressors, the 10 Primaris Intercessors. So I mean, you're looking at $170 is a really good deal for whatever you're getting. There's also just the original Space Marine Primaris Interdiction Force. There is, and this is the one that I really have my eyes on just because I would like to finally branch out from the Shadows of Space Marine. Even though I am doing Chaos Space Marine, it still is Space Marine. It just has a little bit of tinge of evil. But this one is the Craft World's Asuryani Blade Host. And this one comes with one Farseer. Not really super excited about that, one way or the other. 10 Guardians and 5 Dire Avengers. Comes with 1 Viper, 3 Wind Riders, and this is the super cool one, the Wraith Knight. Because if we look it up, the Wraith Knight totals in at $115 by itself. So that in and of itself is almost worth the whole entire thing. Because, once again, the 3 Viper squads come in at $75, looks like, for the Viper Squadron. So these are a great way to save money. I know, spending $170 doesn't feel like you're saving money. But when you look at the amount of money that you are saving by buying these in this kind of large bulk is awesome. And would be an excellent way either to get somebody started or to add to theirs. There's also the Adeptus Mechanicus Fist of the Omnissiah. You have a little bit of the Chaos with Death Guard, Infection Cluster, and that looks like you get some Terminators, probably a Blight Lord or two, one of their tanks, I can't remember what it's called, but a Bloat Drone. And the Death Guard, if anybody has played them, is super hard. They don't move very fast, but they take a lot of shots, and they can take the punishment, which is probably why I should have picked those as my army, because I need lots of dice rolls and lots of re-rolls on those dice rolls when I suck the first time around and probably the second time. Sadly, you can't re-roll a re-roll. There's also the Necron Dominion Spearhead, and that looks like you get... I guess we'll just look at it instead of me trying to guess from the tiny picture. Let's see here. Comes with one Necron Overlord, 12 Necron Warriors, 10 Immortals, 1 Canoptic Spider, 3 Canoptic Scarab Swarms, 3 Tomb Blades, and 1 Ghost Ark. And the Ghost Ark, I believe, is a vehicle that's open-topped and has people kind of inside it so they can shoot out. Pre-built into the model. Really cool. And that is also $170. All these are, and so once again, we will go through those. There's the Adeptus Mechanicus, the Death Guard, Necrons. You get Craft World, and you get 2 different Space Marines. You either get the Imperial Fist, which is really cool, or you get just the normal Primaris Interdiction Force. And I never said what comes with that, but 1 Primaris Captain, 10 Primaris Intercessors, 10 Primaris Reavers, 3 Primaris Interceptors, and 1 Repulsor Tank. I kind of would go for the Imperial Fists myself, just because I like the Hellblasters and I enjoy the Redemptor Dreadnought, the Primaris Aggressors, and I don't know, I just like those units more than I like the other ones. So that is an excellent way and a good starting point if you're looking at getting into or getting somebody just that extra special little gift. There is the boxed games, which are an excellent thing. There is some skirmish type things from Kill that are called Kill Team. And what those are is, instead of having huge squads, you take a very small force, and instead of having like a squad of 5, you would have that squad of 5, but they're all split up into just individuals, so it's individually 5 units that go and do certain things. So there's special rules that are only for Kill Team. But the cool thing is that with Kill Team, there comes these sets, and they come with terrain. And that is the next thing that I was going to say for any wargaming, mini wargaming person, that terrain is an excellent thing, because that's the hard thing that I always have to bump my head against. Do I want to buy a unit that I will base and prime and not finish painting for a really long time, or do I get some terrain? Right now I'm leaning more towards terrain, just because I need terrain. I need large kind of buildings and volcanic rocks and hills and stuff like that to kind of, because it does add a lot to the game, and that can go for anything. I mean, that's Warhammer 40k, that's Age of Sigmar, that's Battle for Middle Earth, that's for the new Fallout game, I'm assuming. That's a miniature tabletop game. There's also War Machine or Hordes. There is so many. And so I would say, if nothing else, you can look at Etsy, and they have some great stuff on Etsy for really cheap. You just need to make sure that you're looking at the sizes, and a lot of times in the pictures they will give you like a sample size of the normal Space Marine, and it'll give you, so it shows you how big the thing is, because sometimes they'll be really tiny but the picture is big and has great detail, so you think you're getting like a giant house, and then you get a house that's the same size as a normal Space Marine. So you just need to be mindful of that and pay attention, because sometimes if you're like, oh man, $5, that is super amazing good price for this huge house, that turns out to be tiny. So you just need to make sure that the price matches what you think you're getting, and also the size and all that kind of jazz. And I'm assuming you can always talk to the seller, and they would be able to kind of give you some feedback on how big it is and all that kind of jazz. But Kill Team has several things. They have like a starter set, like a normal Warhammer 40k has, and it comes with some terrain. There's also a larger set that's somewhere in the... let's just look at Kill Team while we're just sitting here. So the Kill Team looks like most of the starter sets are around $50 or $60. There is the Rogue Trader, which is $130, but that's like a kind of a different board game. But there's like the Drop Force, which is the Astra Militarum starter set, and that comes with a few pieces of terrain. And each one kind of comes with their own separate terrain pieces. Some come with the same ones, like the Exalted Scythe and the Advanced Team Star Plus collection, which I believe is Tau, comes with the same one. The Tyranid one comes with the same as the Astra Militarum. And there's a Sector Mechanicus, which is the big one, or the Wall of Martyrs Environment expansion. And that's just basically the terrain. But the Sector Mechanicus comes with the large pieces. And so those are just some ways that you can get your terrain to your wargamer. The other thing that I would look at, and the place that I've seen the best prices for, is for neoprene mats, because usually you want either a 4x4 for a smaller game. You probably can fit 2,000 points, but it'll be kind of packed. It all depends on what you're playing. If you're playing like me, then you can fit most any game that you play on a 4x4 mat, because I play points heavy armies, and then when I play points heavy armies, I usually tend to sink a lot of points into a lot of stupid stuff, which means that I take even less things. So they either have the 4x4 neoprene mats, which are easy to roll up and take anywhere with you. There's also, usually I would say go 6x4, because even if you don't use the whole map, you can always just, it's always nice to have more room to use than less. But I think at Amazon they were $34 to $40, and that's amazing for, you can either get like a lava world, rocky, you can get sand, you can get red rock, you can get just green, hilly looking neoprene mats. And that is another excellent, cheap gift that you can get, that is just a nice thing, because like I said, in my mind, I'm always butting up with getting a new unit. Doesn't matter what it is. That's part of the enjoyment of the hobby, I think, is that you're looking always at the horizon. You've gotten this big new thing, you get it done, you get it painted, you get it ready to use at the table, but you're just never done. Sometimes you are, but then you just start a different army. So it's always nice to have somebody else looking out and saying, you know what, here's some terrain for you. Here's a neoprene mat that you can play in the garage with, or down in the basement, or wherever you play. Because usually game stores will have their own neoprene mats that you can use. But if you feel like being all cool, you can bring your neoprene mat and lay it out and have fun at the game store. So those are a couple of ideas. Now there are a few board games, like I was talking about. Kill Team is one, and then there is also the Adeptus Titanicus, which is a very expensive form. But let's see here. They come with Warlord Battle Titans, Reaver Battle Titans, and these are not as big as, of course, because the Titans are actually rather large. But these are... trying to see if it shows me how large they are. And it is, unless I'm trying to read it quickly, they're on a 120 millimeter base. So I'm assuming that they're roughly the size of maybe a little bit larger and bulkier than like a Dread Knight for the Grey Knights, or like a Greater Demon of Chaos. And these, the game with the rule book and some dice is $60. The extra pieces, Warhound Scout Titans, are $65. The Imperial Knights, which are the smaller form of the Titans that we actually have an entire now Space Marine, not really a Space Marine chapter, but another army just that is the Imperial Knights. And you could choose your house and all that fun stuff, which is really cool. But those are $35. Then the Adeptus Titanicus Warlord Battle Titan is $110. $60 for the Battle Reaver, so it's not a cheap game to get into, but it is really fun, and yeah, it is quite amazing. There is also from Orktober, the one release that we saw during October, but it is supposed to be the new codex for the orcs. And let's see here is Speed Freaks. There's also Necromunda, Blood Bowl, Warhammer, Night Vault, which is Age of Sigmar. So there's tons of different Warhammer 40k things. I know I've mentioned mostly Warhammer 40k in our Warhammer 40 Christmas, but there are several different things. I know that there are several YouTube channels as well. One that I go to is Tabletop Tactics, and they actually have their own website, tabletoptactics.tv, and they record and upload Freeview videos for YouTube, but they also have on their website where you can watch their non-Freeview videos. Now, you do have to pay $49.99 to have like a year long, or you can do like $9.99 a month. But the really cool thing is that you can give your gamer, because I am fairly certain my wife thinks I'm an idiot every time I watch a 2.5 hour video on YouTube that's just people rolling dice and showing out their armies. The thing I like a lot about Tabletop Tactics that maybe some others don't do as well is that they will kind of do a parade of their army. So they'll say, here's the Tyranids, and here's everything I'm running, and here's kind of why I'm running it, and here's how I think they're going to work. And they'll spend 15-20 minutes just on one army kind of talking about it, and they'll intersperse some jokes and talking about it, and just talking about different things like, why didn't you do this? Well, here's why this, and sometimes I would do this, but we didn't have the points for it. And then they'll go to the next army, and it'll take another 10 to 15 minutes. So, I mean, the first half an hour of that 2-hour video is just, talking about their army and what they're going to be running. But the great thing about this gift is that you can sign up and you get all their videos where they have reviews on all the codexes that come out. They have a list reviews where they'll come up with just, here's a 2,000 point list based around this character or this theme. And then they'll kind of talk about the strengths and weaknesses of it. And they also have stuff like they do a D&D campaign, though I believe that is all on YouTube. But then they also have their non-Freeview videos of all their 40k games. And I'm assuming maybe they have some, I don't know if they do Age of Sigmar, because I'm not technically right now a member. Hopefully this Christmas, knock on some wood, that Tabletop Tactics TV will be in my queue, and that I'll go to their website and be able to watch all their videos. These are not the only guys who do this. Most of the people who do videos for miniatures like Warhammer 40k or name your other game need to supplement their income a different way than just YouTube money or ad money, because unless they're a huge channel that has just thousands and thousands and thousands of views and subscribers, and somehow Tabletop Tactics, which I think is the best one, does not have a ton of people subscribe to it on YouTube. But they do things, and here's the next thing that I would say is an excellent gift, whether for 40k or just somebody who has who you play games where you roll dice. You may get custom dice, and depending on how you want it made, you can do different things like you can put your own logo. Like sometime soon here, I'm hoping to finally be true to my word and order about 45, or maybe we'll do 60 dice so we have 20 each, with our little logo for the 6 symbol. And then you can do different things. You can put something on the 1, like a skull. And I mean, you can change anything. You can do custom dice, and based on how many you order, the more you order, the cheaper each die will be. And so, I mean, there's tons of different places. ChessX is one place. Etsy will be another place that you can look, just to name a few, because you can also go to like Tabletop Tactics and you can order the dice from them. And then, of course, it has their symbol on it. But you can talk to, like ChessX are the people that I was going through, and they sent me out this amazing looking, because they can get a lot of detail in there. So it has like our little 3-person logo, and I can't remember if it has 30 nerdy written on there. I'm doubting it because that might be a little bit too much to fit on just a normal sized dice. But that is an excellent and well thought out gift, and you will be loved forever. Know that you will, since I'm doing this in December, that either you'll have to rush the order and pay a lot of money, or you would have had to preemptively think that I was going to say this, listen to it, and order it about 2 weeks earlier, because it does take a while, just sometimes. Last time I checked, it was going to be about 2 months. But still, even if you were to say, hey, here's a printout of the gift, it's coming, they were backlogged, or I just didn't think about it, and it took more time than I thought, but they will still be super ecstatic when those dice come. Besides that, even when my dice come, that they will still roll ones for me, which means that I'm going to have to find a shaman or somebody to bless my dice, because I'm assuming a pastor won't. I know a pastor won't. I am fairly certain a priest won't. And so, yeah, it's going to have to be like a shaman or a witch doctor. But yes, custom dice is an amazing thing. Really cool wedding gift. Really cool party gift if you're at the wedding and you want people to remember, and they can just take a die and it has like your date or your initials or whatever. Always an amazing, awesome idea for any occasion, for any gamer who does tabletop, whether it's board games or tabletop miniature games, or just people who like to roll dice. Maybe they want some new craps dice. Who knows? But that is an excellent, not necessarily 40 Christmas, but kind of. And so those are just a few of the ideas that I kind of had. There is also, I know on Forge World and on Games Workshop, they have gift ideas that you can do. So you can either create or view gift lists, and you can kind of edit the name. Let's see here. So I'm going to see if I can find a gift list. You can either enter the email address or the gift list ID. So we'll just pretend like I gave my gift list idea. We're going to look it up by email because that's apparently easier. Never mind. I'm an idiot. You need to enter both the gift list and the email address. That's why it's not working. All right. Gotta be smarter than the average bear. Also helps when you read the quest text. Right, Brian? For those who don't know, I was renowned for not reading the quest text when we were playing World of Warcraft, and would just be wandering around for 15 minutes while he had finished in about 2 minutes, because he read the quest text and knew what he was doing. And I did not. I just hit accept, ran away, kind of was in the general area where I was supposed to be, but not exactly where I was supposed to be, so it would take me a lot longer. And I still haven't learned. I still just go grab a quest, don't read it all, and then like, oh, I just need 10 of this. Lo and behold, the 10 of it comes from something completely different than what I thought. But now it has let me in. I do have one, the Chaos list, where I have a Chaos Knight for $190, a Leviathan Dreadnought with Storm Cannon and Graflux Bombard for $112, Khorne World Eaters Terminator Lord Zufor for $36, the real thing that I want, the Khitan Demon Engine of Khorne for $144 or $145. The really cool thing is you can give gift vouchers for, let's see here, gift lists. That's not what I want. Let's try going back home. Virtual gift vouchers, and this is both for Forge World and for Games Workshop. You can both look up people's gift list on either one, and you may, let's see here, give gift vouchers. And I believe it's something like, because I'm not finding the link right now, but it is on the main page somewhere. I'm just not finding it while I'm trying to talk to you guys. That you can give, I think it's either $25 or $30 up to $1,500. The reason it's so high is because some of their stuff is really freaking expensive. Like I told you in my list, like the Chaos Knight, which normal nights are $160, I believe, and so it's $30 more. Nice thing is that they kind of equalized the instead of only having in pounds, they kind of show you your local currency. And that they have opened up, I think, a few places in America, so you're not paying the shipping for shipping from England, which is super nice. The other thing, I don't know if you can do this. I know you can do this with Games Workshop because I did this for a gift for a friend that I needed just a round base, and so I also wanted to get him a gift. And so I was able to ship it to my local Warhammer store, and so the shipping was free, because I just had it go from their warehouse right to their place down in Merle Hay in Des Moines. So I don't know if you can do that with Forge World stuff and have it shipped to a Games Workshop if you live close to one. I'm assuming no, because even though they're the same company, they deal very different from each other for some reason. I'm assuming because it makes more money that way. And so, last few things that I think would make excellent gifts is the Black Library. And these are books that are about Warhammer 40k in some way, shape, or form. Let's see here. And there's a really cool thing. They just came out with some kids' books. I know it's odd, but they have tons of different stories. They have the Horus Heresy, which talks about the Warhammer 30k universe, when the main son, or the firstborn son, or the most prized son of the emperor turns his back and turns to chaos and starts fighting against his father, the emperor. And that is several books. But they also have like the Age of Sigmar. They have, let's see here, several different named characters. They have tons with they have some for Mephiston, who is with my Blood Angels. They have just tons and tons of different books, several about the Inquisitors. They have some that are about the Dark Eldar, and I don't know if they have any Tau ones. I know they have some that are kind of written from the Chaos perspective a little bit, but they have many different of the Primarchs. Like they have Ferrus Manus Perturbo, Magnus the Red, Leman Russ, Rabute Gilliman, Fulgrim, Yarick, Vulcan, Lorgar, and the list goes on for all the different ones. They have Nightblade, which is about the Night Houses, Farsight, which is Tau. So they have just tons of different books that cover a broad range of different armies. And like one podcast I was listening to, The Independent Character, I tend not to read these books because then I just really want to start an army about whatever I'm reading about because they sound so amazing. Doesn't turn out that way when I play them. But in my head, they would look and play amazing. They would roll all sixes all day long, unless I needed a one, and then they would roll the one. But usually it's that I roll ones all day long, unless I need a one, and then I roll a six. But you know how that goes. People say it's all odds, but I beat those odds. There are certain people who are lucky in this life, and there are certain people who are not. And as Brady and AJ can attest, having only seen one game, granted, they'll have to see a few more games to see my dice rolls really kind of kick in and really show them what's for. But yeah, my dice rolls suck. And there are several different series, whether it's with the Black Library or there's the Wheel of Time, which is an amazing series to start. Stephen King books. Really, I think the thing that reaches out is not, even if you give gift cards to like the gift voucher, you know that your person loves this certain thing, and so you have bought something specifically for that. So I know some people are like, oh, gift cards, you're using real money that they can use anywhere and making them use it only at Best Buy or at this. But if you know the person loves like Guitar Center or whatever the guitar place is in Des Moines, that you buy a gift card there, you know that they love music and that they'll get a guitar pick and a string and maybe a new pedal or something. You know that even though you're not specifically picking something out for them, they still see the thought behind it that you tried and that you're like, I don't know exactly what you want and I don't want to get the wrong thing. Because when you go into those specialty type shops, especially like with guitars or with Warhammer 40k and things that are fantasy related, that when you go into those types of areas, you are a fish out of water. And so it's better sometimes to give those very vague gifts that can be honed by the person who will know better. For those things like the terrain or the dice or the game mats, anything that has to do with their hobby, or foam carrying trays. There's several different places that sell those, or the boxes themselves, the satchels that then can get the foam placed inside them, and then you put your minis in there, and then you can carry them kind of a little bit more easily than just carrying them in a box, or like we carry them in old toolboxes. So it just is something that shows that you're thinking about them, even though you may not understand the hobby or even dislike it. Like, I don't think my wife hates the hobby, but she really doesn't get it, which is fine. Because, I mean, if you're not into it, then I don't expect you to really understand the enjoyment of rolling dice, even though I suck tactics and dice roll wise. But that it just is fun for me. It's something that's, when I was younger, I used to take the games really seriously. And then as I've gotten older, I kind of have gotten a little bit more wise, and being able to just enjoy the time, enjoy the time with friends, and and I think a lot of watching the videos on YouTube has helped me just kind of see it's a fun game. And sure, my big baddie that was going to do an amazing thing got wiped off the board in the first turn. We move on and go to turn 2, or bottom of turn 1, whatever it is. So I think the big thing to think about, whether it's with Warhammer 40 Christmas or with just video games in general, because you can also gift things on Steam or on Xbox Live, and I'm assuming you can gift things on PS4, PlayStation Network. I'm not sure about that. But you can always buy gift cards for those things. GameStop gift cards, even though I'm not sure how long that's going to be around. Just different things like that show that you're thinking, even if you're not being very specific. It's just something that you can show that you love the gamer in your life. And so I think that's where I'm going to leave it. I was going to interject a little bit of humor and stuff like that in here with some different sound drops. But as the day goes on, I forget about these things. Because when I'm working, I try and think of, here's what I want to say, here's what I want to talk about, here's what I want to do, here's where I'm going to go, this, interject joke here. But since I don't write it down, I forget about the joke, and then I just move to the next point. So yeah, just wanted to say that this is our Warhammer 40 Christmas episode. And I'm sure that we will have another episode of just kind of random stupid gifts or whatever, or we won't. I know it's going to be coming up to the end of the year in the coveted 30 and Nerdy Game of the Year award. And there's going to be a few hot contenders this year. Please, if you can, give us a rating on iTunes, give us a like, a share, and get us out there to the huddled masses. It may not be everybody's cup of tea, but we hope we can have a home for those older gamers, whether they are video gamers, tabletop gamers, movie buffs. We like to cover it all because we like it all. And there's sometimes that we go through spurts where we'll play games for 15 hours a day for 2 months straight, and then we won't play games for 3 months straight. But we'll still talk about them. We still like them. We still like to think about, talk about, and ruminate about video games and the video game culture. So this has been David with 30 and Nerdy. I hope you have a wonderful week.